Magoi. In the U.S. we call it the common scaled carp. This magoi was shipped to me from a carp farm in Alabama in 1996. She's about 12 years old now. She spent 7 of those years in a 3,200-gallon pond, and despite that limited space has grown to 31 inches. I've had this female on my to-do list since 1998, cross this magoi with gosanke. But the amount of labor and space required to do this kept pushing the project back. It's an incredible amount of work and expense for just a few offspring. In 2003, with the announcement that a fish bred by Toshio Sakai had won the All Japan show, a sanke reported as being from his well-publicized sanke and magoi cross. As a breeder with lofty goals, I knew at that point it had to be done. I had to do the cross here to prepare for the future, the direction koi was likely heading in. Things have calmed down some now in the koi world, and we haven't seen a grand champion gosanke over 1 meter since the 2003 All Japan show. My personal interest in magoi genetics goes beyond the potential for size. At the moment, there aren't a lot of hobbyist ponds in the U.S. that are set up for housing and maintaining a 30 to 40 inch gosanke. Big fish need big water. But notice how this female magoi is built. Look at her frame. She carries her eggs directly beneath her and up into her body cavity. When we look at her from above, we see a long, strong body. We don't see a bulge of eggs or any hint of a fatty appearance. I like this body. It's a frame I want to see on all of my gosanke. Every detail of her body leaves an impression of strength, size, and vigor. Notice the distance between the eyes and the nose, and the eyes and the dorsal fin. The backbone, the fin rays, the shape of the face, all stout, strong. Quality conformation is about lines and shapes. The skin grows thick between the scales. The skin looks youthful, even at 12 years of age. Beyond these characteristics, she opens up a new genetic path, a fresh branch on the family tree. So, in the spring of 2003, this magoi was mated with 2 male kohakus, both large fish for males. The one on the left, an American-born fish with Dainichi blood, and the one on the right showing the classic characteristics of the Sensuke lineage. The spawn was absolutely huge and difficult to control and maintain. The eggs were large, but the fry when hatched were no larger than gosanke fry. These are some of the offspring at 22 months old, looking very much like smaller versions of their mother. When we look closer, though, we begin to see that the 2 male kohakus did have an influence on this first cross. The base skin shows a coloration that's a little more orange than brown. Some showing pattern characteristics, leaning more toward kohaku. a little like the patterning we see on Ochiba shigure. The male Kohaku's genetics were able to influence the wild Magoi blood in this first cross. The characteristics of these offspring represent 95% of the spawn. The other 5%? This is also a sibling from this cross of Magoi and Kohaku. This is the finest baby from the group, an extremely unrefined colored carp that resembles a sake. Notice the shape of the face, the long pointed snout, and like its mother, the distance from the eyes to the dorsal fin. The characteristics I wanted from the mother's body are there, and the coloration of Gosanki is at least beginning. The genetics of this single fish contain everything I need to move forward, worthless to a hobbyist, but as a breeder the entire value lies in time, the amount of time on the calendar that this koi moves me forward toward my goal, and the time and farming labor it took to produce the entire spawn to arrive at this. This fish is a male, producing milt at only 22 months old. This allows me to move forward with the next generation 2 years sooner than if this fish were a female. I should see something I'm happy with in about 9 more years. The 2 male Kohakus I used in this cross have been used to breed with female Kohakus for several years on my farm. When paired with Kohaku, the offspring are 100% red and white koi, with no signs of sumi in any of the fry. But pairing these same 2 Kohaku males with Magoi opens up Pandora's box, seemingly releasing the entire history of koi. Here are some more of the offspring representing the remaining 5% of this spawn. It's a little like looking into a vat of koi from the local garden center. Pandora's box. With this story, we're really only scratching the surface on a much broader topic on the history of koi. Which of the many varieties of koi we know today were created or invented by genetic visionaries? And which were gifts from the randomness of carp genetics that were simply stumbled upon and refined? We'll look at this project again later on Koi Fixx.